मनोबुद्ध्यहङ्कारचित्तानि नाहं न वा सप्तधातुर्न वा पञ्चकोशाः न न वा प्राणपादौ न चोपस्थपायु चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्. Hello everyone. What I chanted is from Nirvana Shatakam. Okay, they call it as Atma Shatakam also. This was composed by Adi Shankaracharya. So in the current age, a lot of musicians and a lot of folks uh, tuned it the way they wanted, but originally it was written, composed by Adi Shankaracharya. It's called as Nirvana Shatakam. So I chanted Nirvana Shatakam has like six verses actually. I picked the first verse, one line from the first verse, and two lines from the second verse. I chanted it. So basically, we are going to take this as basis and continue our discussion today. We are going to use that as basis. So, what we learned in the last few videos, let us recap very quickly. We learned about three schools of thought, and we learned about Tripurti, and we learned the challenges of Tripurti. We learned what is at high level Dvaita Gnana, Visishtadvaita Gnana, and Advaita Gnana. So today we'll try to learn more fundamentals and try to build our foundation. So the whole purpose is to build a solid foundation so that we can do our spiritual journey in the path of Advaita. So today what we will do is we will try to discuss about few key concepts actually. One is we'll start with what is consciousness, okay, and then what is existence. Okay, we'll learn about these two. And in the uh, verse that we just chanted, um, Nava Saptadhatur Nava Panchakoshaha. I'm not those five Panchakoshas. Okay, we will talk about those five koshas. Those are five sheaths basically. Okay, five sheaths. Okay, so let us focus on these three. Okay. So before we get into these five sheets, let us understand the basic terms actually. Consciousness, existence. These are very important terms. The more we learn about it, the more we discuss about it, our foundation will become solid. So what is consciousness? Like let us say if I ask you a question, who are you? What do you say? You will say, I am so and so. My name is this. I have this educational qualification. I have this professional qualification. I own these assets. This is my spouse. This is my child. These are my assets. This is my car. So it's all about you basically. You talk about, right? And then you talk about your materialistic things and your personal relationships and people around you basically, right? That is nothing but consciousness basically you are conscious about yourself. Basically you have that awareness that okay, I am this, my name is this, my age is this, my gender is this, my educational qualification is this, and then you start looking around what you're conscious about, and you start, hey, this is my spouse, this is my child, this is my car, this is my phone and all that. So that is consciousness basically. So before a person is conscious about himself and or herself and things around him or her, that person has to exist, right? So without existence, there will not be consciousness. So existence is kind of prerequisite. Okay, so existence and then consciousness, these are like together always. Okay, so these are the key terms, consciousness and existence. So consciousness is, there are other terms for consciousness, like for example, um, uh, for existence we call it as sat. For consciousness we call it as chit, asti, bhati. In Telugu, it is called as existence is called uniki, consciousness is called as eruka, and uh, Hindi also it is called as astitva, okay, existence, and chit is called chit basically, right? So consciousness or awareness. So that is the very basic explanation of what is consciousness and what is existence is. Like that is why you see you need to understand these are very important concepts because when we do a lot of these bhajans, we talk about Sachidananda. Okay, now if you look at it, what does it mean? Sachitananda means Sat Chit Ananda, which is bliss. That is another term actually we need to understand. Bliss. Okay, Sat Chit Ananda. Okay, so it's pure consciousness, existence, and that is the bliss basically. Okay, so we'll come back to these concepts. We'll when we try to do a deep dive. So now when I ask this question, who are you? You said I am this. My name is this, and all that. What are you doing? Are you referring to your body and saying that I am this? My name is this. So essentially, yes, most of us refer to our body and say, I am this. My name is this. My gender is this. My qualification is this, and all that. So now we'll have to understand about this body actually. So if we go back and check our earlier concepts that we discussed, in the three schools of thought, whatever Adi Shankara, Ramanujacharya, and Madhacharya explained, the three different schools of thought, all these three schools of thought and a lot other philosophers, whatever they came up with the philosophy, everything is based on Jiva Jagat Ishvara. Okay, we know that. We discussed last time. Jiva Jagat Ishvara. So Jiva is the sentient being, like a living soul like us, and Jagat is like the world around them, okay, everything around them, and Ishvara is the higher source. Okay, it could be God, you want to call it, it could be the Brahman, it could be whatever. Okay, so this is the threefold principle. Okay, all the schools of thought are based on these threefold principle. There is no fourth principle. You bring, you can talk to any scientist or anybody, they cannot bring the fourth. Everything what is out there comes in this under this threefold principle. Okay, so what we are doing here is we are trying to understand more about this jiva. Okay, so when we say five sheets, so when I ask that question about who are you, you're conscious about yourself, and you said I am this. This is my spouse, this is my child, these are my assets, and all that. You are conscious about not only yourself, you're conscious about things around you. And your consciousness is dependent on your existence because you need to exist first before you are conscious about something about you, or right. So these two are definitely needed basically, and existence is kind of prerequisite for consciousness. So now let us understand what this body is about. Okay, in the path of spirituality there are they call it as pancha kosha. Okay, pancha kosha means sheath basically. It's kind of a layer or a wrapper or whatever you want to call it. So let us understand five sheets. So if you I work in telecommunications area, so if you see any telecom in the telecommunications, we use fiber optic cables, right? So when you look at any fiber optic cable, the fiber optic cable, there may be the fiber inside that, but there are several layers around that cable basically, right? So there are several sheets actually we call it. Okay, the outer layer, because these fiber optic cables are in some areas these are like buried, in some areas these are like aerial cables, because of that all these cables may go through a lot of wear and tear, and because of the climatic conditions and all that, so they'll put a lot of sheets, okay, to protect the fiber. Okay, the outer layer is made up of some material, and then there will be another sheath that will protect if there is any water intrusion and all that. There will be another sheath if somebody is trying to cut it with a normal blade, they may not be able to cut. They may need a special tool to cut it and all that. So these sheaths are kind of protecting the fiber. Okay, our body is also kind of more or less like this actually. I mean, we shouldn't exactly compare and take this telecommunications fiber optic cable as analogy, but since we are talking about sheets, we took that as an example. So let us explore what are the five sheets actually, right? So the first sheath is, we call it as Annamaya Kosha. Okay, so Annamaya Kosha is like we discussed, it is a sheath, right? Annamaya is, it is made up of food actually. Okay, so if you see our body is literally made up of food. Whatever we eat, it gets transformed into something. It could be muscle, it could be fat, it could be nutrients, whatever we see in our body, it is a result of whatever we are eating, that anna. Okay, food. Okay, that is the first layer that is clearly visible. Okay, that's why this is called as sthula sharira. Okay, which is physical gross body that we can see actually. And are we really the body? Our body is changing. Okay, when we were 5 year old, we were small, we were different. And then 10 year old, when we were 10 year old, we were like we had like more energy and we were able to run, we were growing taller. And then teenager, the body has changed for the lot more hormones, and then hormonal developments. And then 30 year old, it changes, 40 year old, it changes, 50. And after 50 you can see you'll start losing hair, you'll have a lot of gray hair and all that. So basically your body is changing, but you're witnessing it. You are witnessing whatever is happening. Okay, so are you really the body? Because the body doesn't have consciousness, because you have the consciousness as a witness. You are conscious that this is the body, this is hand, these are fingers, these are nails. You are conscious about that. But the body, your consciousness is pervading all the body. It knows, your consciousness knows that this is hand, these are fingers and all. But this hand doesn't know who you are. This is kind of inert actually, jada we can call it. Okay. So, but you are witnessing, you have witnessed throughout your life that the body is changing. You are witnessing it. Okay. So are you the body? No. Okay. We are just the witness. Okay. Now let us go into the next layer. The next layer is Pranamaya Kosha. Okay, the Pranamaya Kosha is the sheath that is related to our life or vital energy, basically, right? This is considered as a kind of a subtle layer, which is not visible actually. That is why it is called as Sukshma Sarira. Okay, so Pranamaya Kosha is the life inside us. We cannot literally, visually, we cannot see the life actually. Or, I mean, you may question how if a person is walking, he's able to talk, he's able to laugh and all that. That means that I can see that there is life inside. Yes, you can see, you can still, you're still seeing the physical body, you're not seeing the actual energy or life inside that person. Like, let us take an analogy, right? Like, for example, can you see the electricity? Is there a form for electricity? No, there is nothing. You cannot see actually. You can see the result of electricity, that that will illuminate a bulb, or it will turn on the fan. So basically the electricity is the cause for all that. Basically same thing here. Vital energy is also causing, like you cannot see it, but it is behind the scenes basically. But now, is that is that you? When I asked the question, you said we have kind of decided that you are not the physical body, but are you the pranamaya kosha? No, here also we are able to see, since our childhood we have been witnessing how the energy is changing. Okay, so when we were little, we had less energy. When we were like in 30s, we had lot of energy. And as we grow older, 45, 50, 55, your energy will diminish. And in the regular time also, one day you're full of energy, the other day you do not have energy. So and you are conscious about that, you are witnessing that. But does that life or energy know about you? No, it doesn't have any consciousness or anything. So your again, your consciousness is pervading throughout your body in the form of vital energy, and it knows when you have full energy, when you are like very weak and things like that. So here also, this is witness, you are witnessing this, okay, throughout your life. Now let us go to the another subtle layer. We are going inward actually, right? After pranamaya kosha, it is manomaya kosha. Manomaya kosha is the mind actually. Okay. Now, do not get confused or do not use the concept of brain. Brain is an organ actually, but mind is the one that is producing all these thoughts actually. Now, again, mind. Can you see the mind? No. Again, it is another subtlest layer. Okay, we can call it. We don't have to call subtlest, but it's another subtle layer basically, right? That is also is a sukshma sarira again. Okay, you cannot see that. Okay, even mind also you have been witnessing since your childhood. When you were like a 5 year old, your mind was still developing, you don't know a lot of things. But then again, when you are a teenager, you know a lot more things. When you are 30, you know a lot more things, and you have been witnessing how your mind has been developing actually. Okay, there also your witness. So here also your consciousness is pervading actually, it is witnessing, oh, this mind has these thoughts, this is doing this, it is doing these bad things, it is doing these good things. You are witnessing all that. But mind, when you go and ask about you, it doesn't know basically. Okay, again it is a witness basically, you are the witness of this manomaya kosha. Okay, so the fourth one is vijnanamaya kosha. So let us write things in English also. Annamaya kosha is a physical body, pranamaya kosha is a vital energy, manomaya kosha is the mind, vijnanamaya kosha is the intellect. Okay, so intellect also, you when you were very young, you did not know about lot of things, and you did not know about good or bad. And also when you go and ask a 4 year old, they wouldn't understand clearly. But as a person grows older, their intellect also develops, they know what is right, what is wrong, and all that. That also you are the witness basically, you have been witnessing how your intellect has been growing. Okay, you are the witness here also. What is the next one? The next one is um, vijnanamaya kosha. The next one is anandamaya kosha, which is, we can call it as bliss. Okay, this bliss, when we go to sleep, sometimes we get dreams. Okay, when we get dreams means your mind is still working, because your mind is the one that is producing based on whatever you encountered during that period. It may give you in the form of a dream or something like that. But there is a state, we call it as dreamless deep sleep, right? uh, Sushupti, okay, in Sanskrit. In Sushupti, or in dreamless deep sleep, it is like a blank darkness basically. It is like completely dark. There are no dreams. Your mind is asleep. Your intellect is not working. Your physical body is like literally sleeping. It is not moving, and you have energy, but your energy is not being used. That is why, like, when we have a very good sleep, next day morning we are so happy and we go and tell others that, hey, I had like such a wonderful sleep, I slept like a log. Okay, none of these are pretty much working actually, because that's why when a person is in a very deep sleep, you make any sound beside that person, you talk and you play some music, light music, that person may not wake up because all his senses are kind of closed at that point, and he's in a deep sleep. That is a bliss. Okay, but if nothing is working, how do you know next day morning that, oh, I had such a wonderful sleep? You crave for that kind of sleep every day. Okay, that means you are a witness of this blissful state also. Okay, even this is changing basically. So if you see, you are the witness. Physical body has been changing, your energy has been changing, mind is has been changing over a period of time, intellect has been changing, and the blissful state is also changing. But what are you really? That is the question we need to ask basically. Okay, but before that, let us understand a little bit more about these two actually. So if you see, the mind and intellect together sometimes are collectively referred to as just mind, but actually if you see, there are four components actually: mind, intellect, memory, and ego. Okay, these four together are called as antahkaranas, or inner organs. Okay, so mind is it tells you, it produces thoughts, it tells you, oh, go ahead and do that. Intellect is the ability where a human can distinguish what is right, what is wrong. Okay, only humans have that kind of ability. Okay, memory is chittam, we call it as memories. Those are memories. It's like a huge big database actually. I mean, the kind of memory we have, and the kind of models we have running inside us, it's way better than any other LLMs out there in the current market, and any databases out there. Okay, ego. Ego is another quality we all have. Even this one, when we were like 3-year-old, 4-year-old, generally at that age there may not be ego, but this quality gets developed. You see, if you see, mind, intellect, memory, and ego, these gradually develop. Okay, in a person. Memory, yes, it starts from the childhood, in the form of, oh, this person is my father, this person is my mother, these are my siblings, these are my grandparents, and all that. That's how the memory builds up, and kids learn languages also. And then the ego develops when the kid, at a very young age, when the kid is able to achieve something. It could be academically, it could be in sports, or it could be in something. A small feeling gets developed, which says that, oh, you're better than other kids. That is the seed for the ego. That's how it gets developed. And memory, as we said, and mind and intellect also will develop. So these three actually, mind, memory, and ego, they work collectively. Because of these three only, a lot of us make a lot of mistakes, because intellect always tells us what is right, what is wrong, but mind, memory, and ego, they gang up, and they will collectively work to make us do bad things actually. Okay, because memory will always retrieve something from the database saying that, oh, this person commented on you on this day, and ego will just say that, hey, this is the time to take revenge on that person, and mind will say, one of your sense organs like you'll just utter some words. Intellect will be behind the scenes telling, hey, it's not worth it, don't do it, but these three will override, always dominate intellect, and they make us do. So these are the four inner organs, we call it antahkaranas. That's why I just want to give an example. In one of the Telugu movie, this hero becomes chief minister, and while taking oath, he would say, Antahkarana Suddhito. Okay. I will work with the purified inner organs, he will say. Antahkarana Suddhito. That means he's essentially saying that my mind will be clean. I will not be using any memories in the form of grudge or anything. I will not use my ego, and I will use my intellect to clearly differentiate what is right and what is wrong. And based on that purified inner organs, I will work. That is what when he was taking that oath, he would say Antakarana Sthito. That is the meaning. These are called as inner organs. So now let us come back actually. So now when I asked you this question, who are you? You said, I am this, my name is this, right? But are you really any of these? No, we just discussed you are not Annamaya Kosha, you are not Pranamaya Kosha, you are not Manomaya, you are not Vijnanamaya, you are not Anandamaya. So, but what are you? You are the actual witness. Basically, you are conscious about everything. You are nothing but that pure consciousness, basically. Okay, and you are nothing but that existence, consciousness, and bliss. That is the Sachitananda. Actually, we'll come back to discuss that later. But the point here is, when if we want to now go back and look at that whatever we chanted, right, from Nirvana Shatakam, Manobuddhyahankara Chittani Naham. This is called as Mano Buddhi Chitta Ahankara. Basically, that Nirvana Shatkam says that I am not mind, I am not intellect, I am not memory, I am not ego. Navasaptudhatar Navapanchakosha. I am not those seven types of tissues. Basically, if we go through the tissues in our body and all that, there may be seven different types of tissues. I am not that. Na, Navapanchakoshaha, that means I am not the five sheaths also. Okay, what am I really? I am really Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. I am just the pure consciousness or witness. I exist. I'm not dependent on space, time, place, and all that. So when we say I am this, my name is this, essentially we always look at this body and we confine ourselves to this body. But in fact, we have to go beyond that. We have to transcend and we have to identify who am I really? Who am I really is the question that we need to explore. Okay, we kind of discuss that. Yes, I am the witness, but we have to go beyond that and understand who am I really. When we say I am this, my name is this, who is that I am? Who is that I? Is a question. Okay, that we need to explore. And the more we try to do that inquiry, that we call that a self inquiry, more answers we get, and we will end up with this bliss. Actually, this is what we want. Okay, this bliss is intermittent. It comes and goes whenever we are in the dreamless deep sleep. But we are talking about this pure consciousness and bliss, right? That is where we want to go. Okay, so so today's objective we kind of achieved. We discussed about the basics of consciousness existence, because in the path of Advaita especially, those two are very, very important. We just touched upon that, and we discussed the five sheaths, and we understood the synonyms of consciousness: Sat, Chit, Asti, Bhati, Uniki, Iruka, Chit, Astitva in Hindi. Okay, so those are the terms, because these terms will come in the entire path of spiritual journey of Advaita actually. Okay, that's all. We will discuss more in our next video. Thank you.